Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Funky Forest, The First Contact, a Japanese anthology comedy from 2005 that had 3 directors. Katsuhito Ishii has basically fallen off the map in terms of movie making in recent years. The last film I saw from him was Smuggler, from way back in 2011. But some of his other recognizable titles include The Taste of Tea, Party 7, Sharkskin Man and Peach Hip Girl, and Travis, Fist Planet. The next director is Hajime Ishimine, apparently who had a very short career as director, as he only has 3 titles to his name on IMDb, the last of which was back in 2005. And finally, we have our third director, Shunichiro Miki, who seems to have met the same fate. His last movie was The Warped Forest, which came out in 2011 and is loosely connected to Funky Forest, and I have a review of that film on my channel. In some sense, I am surprised that these directors were unable to sustain their careers, or perhaps they chose to leave the profession, but on the other hand, I'm not surprised that their movies are mostly divisive in internet circles. Funky Forest is a perfect example of why this is the case. This is described as an outrageous collection of surreal, short attention span stories that feature hilariously odd characters that will take you to an unpredictable cosmic journey, with many free-associative episodes ranging from nonsense sci-fi comedy to dance battle daydreams. Funky Forest will challenge your mind and melt logic as its unique characters find themselves in warped dimensions way past our imagination. So this movie it's pretty nuts right from the start. We get some sci-fi imagery like weird transportation pods and a little girl with pigtails who uses telekinetic powers in an alternate dimension. Then she goes home to the normal world and studies boring stuff. So that's like your opening scene. There's repeated use of alien life forms, otherworldly body appendages, many of which lie between the legs, and DJ-style musical mixing. A lot of loony stuff here, folks. There are a number of themes that are presented, and each separate story has its own main characters, as they have certain dilemmas that spread across the film. But I would not describe this as an especially deep film. It explores some things, but ultimately, it just wants you to have fun with all of its absurdities that are presented to you. And not a film for everyone, but I do think movies like this are vitally important because they add some welcome creativity to the film industry. Personally, I think this movie has a number of entertaining scenes with a few flat duds in between. My personal favorite segments involve the babbling hot springs vixens, the various school skits, some of which are a little bit perverted, and the violin forest scene, which I thought was really neat. The beach dance scenes are kind of neat too, but they do drag out, go on for a bit too long. My least favorite scenes are the ones involving the 2 stand-up comedians, who I found to be pretty irritating whenever they showed up. The style of humor, just not to my taste. In terms of casting, there are a lot of recognizable faces in this. Tadanobu Asano, likely the most popular. Rinko Kikuchi shows up in a small role. The 3 actresses who go to the hot springs resort are Chizuru Ikawake, a very good actress, Kazue Fukishi, and Machiko Ono, and you'll recognize them from various movies and TV shows. Ryo Kase also makes an appearance, as does Hideaki Anno, the director of Neon Genesis Evangelion. So a nice collection of actors here, slash directors, I guess you could say, despite the fact that this movie did not have a huge budget. There are some really odd special effects, both CGI and practical. The practical stuff has like a body horror element to it, even though they're humorous scenes. And they're entirely used for comedic effect, but they're still kind of weird. There are some interesting and colorful costumes as well. Runtime is like 2 hours and 30 minutes. It is a little bit too long, but the pacing is good for the most part. I think in a nutshell, this is chock full of crazy WTF moments that should satiate those with a craving for bizarre comedy. I like Funky Forest, and I recommend it, but you need to understand that this is a very nutty movie. And I would say it's a risky choice for an evening's entertainment. I mean, I can understand why some people might actually hate this film. But if you're in the mood for like a quirky, slightly perverted comedy with lots of shenanigans, I say give it a shot. It's currently available on Blu-ray. There was a Region B and a Region A release in recent months that you can find. I think it was paired with Warped Forest. Now, the director commentary on the Blu-ray releases is a lot of fun, and it's another reason maybe you might want to purchase this. All three directors are like in a room together discussing the film, while it's being presented, since it's in commentary form. They have some interpretations that help explain the meaning of some scenes, but other times they just laugh at how ridiculous their film turned out. And they make fun of their own movie and even some of the actors. So it's a lively discussion that's worth listening to, and I thought it was a pretty entertaining commentary. So, yeah, this movie, it's a little bit of a risk, but I say, check it out if you're in the mood for something quirky and different. And as always, we will see you next time.